Hey there, my name is Catherine, otherwise Katie. This is my presentation for Geography 1121K on streams. So first off, some key questions. So we'll be able to answer these questions by the time we finish this presentation. So what is a stream? What are drainage basins and what are some examples? What do rocks look like within streams? Why are streams important? And what are some problems that streams undergo? So first let's talk about what exactly is a stream. According to National Geographic, a stream is a body of water that flows on the Earth's surface. The word stream is often used interchangeably with river, though rivers usually describe larger streams. And here is a photo of a stream. So let's look at what are some types of streams. So first off, we have perennial streams, which is where the water flows all year long. Intermittent streams, where water flows in some parts of the year, but it may not flow in other parts of the year, such as dry seasons. And some ephemeral streams, where water only flows for short periods of time, such as after a heavy rain. And then on the right here, we have a picture of a steady flowing stream. And then on the bottom right, we have a dried up stream. So now we're going to talk about drainage basins. So what are the drainage basin types? So a drainage basin is a set of small streams that a bigger body of water like a river gets its flow from. These drainage basins help scientists identify streams and rivers to find out the type of runoff, such as precipitation in the surrounding areas, may be occurring in the area. Let's look at drainage basins a little further. So here are 5 types of drainage basins, although there are more. One that is not mentioned on here is the radial basin pattern. So radial basin pattern, let's say you have a mountain that forms it goes from big to small at the top. Well, when water hits that mountain, the water drains down the mountain and out to the side. So whenever it starts at the top and goes down, your pattern kind of looks like this from the top. It starts at the top and then it drains out through all the areas. So now let's look at these in the picture here. So we're going to talk about the dendritic pattern, the rectangular pattern, parallel pattern, trellis pattern, and deranged pattern. So let's look a little further on those. So first let's talk about the dendritic pattern. The dendritic pattern is shown in this photograph. The branches are produced by running water that is draining off the land in the surrounding area. These are called dendritic drainages due to the similarity of the way tree branches branch out into small twigs. The name dendritic is derived from the Greek word dendrites, which means tree-like. So you can see here, these are like the little tree branch type things I was just talking about. And then this is basically a drawing of what is up here. So the water flows down these branches and flows to the middle, and then all the water flows down to this middle branch and then eventually down into the bigger body of water, which we see here. So next up we have the rectangular pattern. So this is a rectangular drainage basin. The pattern develops in areas that have little topography but lots of fractures and faults which aid in the formation of the angles in the pattern. These are actually very rare to find in Canada. So the water flows through these 90-degree angles all the way down into a bigger body of water. So now let's look at parallel pattern. So the parallel pattern consists of many small streams which eventually flow into the bigger stream or a river. It's more frequently developed on a sloping or dipping rock bed such as newly formed coastal plains, and they're frequently found in India. So you can see it gets the name parallel pattern because all these branches tend to be parallel to each other, and these branches tend to be a little longer than the other branches shown before. So they all flow basically all down and eventually into the bigger bed of water. So now for the trellis pattern. This pattern is formed by a network of tributaries and streams that follow down a slope and are well adjusted to geological structures. This is a very similar pattern to the rectangular pattern, although the middle flow is straight down and the rectangular flow has turns without. Now, if you remember, the rectangular flow had, sorry, what did I just do? There we go, technical difficulties. Now, if you remember, the rectangular pattern had 90-degree angles throughout the middle flow area. This one is straight all the way down. Much of this pattern involves streams being parallel to one another, although it's very different from the parallel system as well, which is the one we just recently looked at, and it had long branches that flowed all the way down into the water. And the parallel and lateral streams found here are known as consequent streams. Oh no. There we go. Okay, so now for the deranged pattern. So these are typically found in Canada. They're very chaotic and no two deranged systems are alike. They contain bodies of water within the system that may contain wildlife within them. Now, normally streams do have wildlife within them, the consequent streams and all that, but these are actual bodies of water that may have some still areas in them, which may allow for maybe some different species to live in them rather than the fast flowing streamed areas. So the water starts out and it flows all the way down through all these beds and these little small lakes and stuff all the way down into the bigger body of water. So what do rocks look like within streams? So rocks found within streams are smooth because of the pull of the stream. The rocks bump up against each other, which smooths them out. In the picture, the rocks have been smoothed out due to the erosion from the water rushing over them for long periods of time. So as we can see, the water is rushing over these rocks, and it has eventually smoothed them all down. You can definitely see it on this rock right here. Where the water has been rushing over the side of this rock, it has completely made a dip in the side of this rock. So the importance of streams. So stream beds or floodplains create spaces that can store water to prevent flooding in many cities. An example of this is found in Houston. Houston's a huge city, super important to the flooding concept, and there's a lot of problems going on in Houston. So if you want more information on that, definitely Google Houston and the ways they're preventing flooding with streambeds and floodplains, and you can get a lot of information. Streams provide a diverse habitat for many plants and animals, and down here at the bottom we can see an alligator snapping turtle. Many people rely on streams for the supply of drinking water, and in fact, 117 million people rely on streams. And streams can also provide energy. So if you've ever seen one of those round wooden, almost like a turbine, that have these steps all around it, and they spin, and they pick up water, and that water keeps that turbine moving. That basically makes energy, and in a lot of places throughout the world, or maybe less now, but back in the olden times, a lot of people used that to supply energy for their houses, but you had to be kind of living near a stream. But we may be seeing a little bit more of that in the future. So some problems that occur for streams. If you've ever been to a stream or a river, you can definitely tell there is litter. There may not be a lot of litter, there may be a lot of litter, but more than likely there is litter somewhere or another. Although it's detrimental to much of the wildlife around the stream, it can slowly interrupt the stream's flow as well. Litter and waste within the water system can cause nutrient deficiency and changes in the water's natural composition. Luckily, you can find many volunteer activities or just leisurely pick up trash along stream and river beds. Even if you just pick up something as small as a bottle cap or such, you can make a huge difference for the future of a stream or a river. Here are my references. If you want, you can rewind and go back to that second slide with the key questions and see if you can answer all of them. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye.